Okay, welcome. I'm Chris Watton. I'm a Mindfulness Coach.
I'm Daniel Conneely. I'm a meditation teacher.
And today we're going to look at effortlessness, something we're both really into. And yeah, we're going to look at it from a Vedic point of view and a mindfulness point of view. Where do we start? How it's important to you, very important in Vedic meditation.
Yeah, Vedic meditation and any form of self-transcending meditations. Effortlessness is so important because we're so busy in life. You know, how often are we rushing around? You're busy, I'm busy. The world is busy. So when people find a meditation practice that is not busy, or allows them not to be busy, has the option of not being busy by saying that if you reduce your effort in this practice, then that's kind of the idea. All of a sudden, that seemed like a nice place for people to be when they close their eyes, rather than it feeling like something else on their to-do list that I have to do this and this is going to be more mental effort and I'm mentally tired after the day already. So I think as a starting point, the fact that effortless meditation has huge benefits, there being different types, I think people don't often know that it's an option for them, and when they hear that it's an option, they become interested.
I feel there's so much trying in meditation, especially myself. When I learn a new, more advanced technique, or I just find myself trying. So, like, to have that effortlessness is wonderful. And when I first learnt a mantra-based meditation, I really experienced that effortlessness. And I think it was the first time in my life I kind of had that idea of like, you can get something from doing less.
Yes.
And there's a place that feels really good and calm. That's not in the future. You can experience that with doing less.
Yeah.
It's quite mind-opening.
Yeah, and experience it very quickly.
Yeah.
I had the same experience when I learnt Vedic meditation, silent mantra. You close your eyes and you learn this technique, and very quickly, within half an hour of practicing the technique, you're achieving something internally that previously you might have thought that's going to take me years to be able to do that. And you do it because there's no trying, as you said. I don't have to try. Therefore, there's nothing to really like master over time. It's not like doing keepy-uppies with a football, and do more and more and more. I'll get better and better and better. It's the opposite of that kind of learning a skill by doing it again and again. You just do it by removing all the effort. And it's wonderful because it's really allowing, and it's the antidote to what people are experiencing day to day. Yeah,
well, I was going to say antidote. That's interesting. The antidote, because in modern life it's very transactional, and I find myself in that still sometimes, where it's like, I'm going to do the meditation. If I do 20 minutes of this meditation, I should get my peace. We all have that kind of expectation, that kind of, I suppose it's commercial or transactional nature creep in from modern life. So to have that place where you don't have to work in that paradigm, you can just be enough. It was incredibly powerful for me. So how much does trust play a part in this? We've been meditating for years, so we've developed that trust, but it is an important part when you go into meditate and you have less effort, less expectations. I think it comes from a certain type of trust in the process or in yourself.
For me, trust came very quickly, but based on my own experiences, because, and this is often the case, you can tell people that something is really beneficial for them, and until they've experienced it, it's very difficult for them to actually believe it. Once you experience it for yourself and you learn a meditation technique that has an effortlessness attitude and technique to it, then very quickly you can trust it, because you know that there's not many moving parts for it to go wrong. There's not an end goal to it. It's not something that you have to reach and aim for. If I do all these things in meditation, this will be the result. It's like, well, if I do nothing continually, almost, or have an effortless approach continually, then it will play out exactly how it's meant to play out, and I'm already okay with the outcome before I even close my eyes. And that's the trust. Do I trust in it before I even sit down and close my eyes? And with effortless techniques, you definitely can very quickly.
Yeah, and once you have that kind of trust, it kind of just happens a lot quicker when there's less expectations. I think there's a trust element of the nervous system, perhaps, for some people. Like myself, to trust not doing something felt a bit uncomfortable. Sometimes it can feel like actual anxiety for people. They're like, I don't know what to do with themselves. I've got these feelings in the body I might not like. I've got thoughts. It can be, there's that element too. And if, for myself, I'd always sort of planned ahead. I was always working towards something. I didn't know what. So there was a trust in just stopping and finding myself, really.
Yeah, and that takes time for people. You know, I've taught people who have physical reactions when they meditate. I'm feeling a stress response when I'm meditating, because, you know, a lot of people come into meditation for a specific reason. I've got this happening in my life and I want meditation to be the solution to it. So when I close my eyes, I want to start seeing some results, because I'm told that this thing is, you know, the answer to all my problems. And then when they feel a stress response, which is similar to what they're experiencing in day-to-day life that's making them want to meditate, then it causes a bit of frustration. And then when people feel frustration in meditation, our instinct is to try more and put more effort in to fix it. But then that obviously stirs the pot, and it can make the agitation or stress response worse. So allowing your nervous system to be able to trust in the process requires a little bit of time. There was a wonderful quote where an Indian sage said that if you don't feel any level of discomfort when you first learn to meditate, you're doing it incorrectly. And it's really true. It's really true in some cases, because you have to kind of meet your body and mind where it's at in meditation. And that's part of the process. That said, the advice is be more effortless, which is a simple solution in theory, not necessarily in practice.
And I really like what you said about, I think you were saying it comes with time in a way. So it's not effortless like don't try, but don't try in a certain way. So it takes a while to master meditation practices. I mean, I learned one recently and it set me off a little bit. I was destabilized. And I was doubting my practice, and then I came back to a very simple concentration practice, and it brought a lot of balance back into my life. But even though I've practiced meditation for years, I'm still learning ways to sort of bring that effortlessness in. So effortless doesn't mean you shouldn't keep working or learning about it, or all the time you're kind of learning as you go along. It's perhaps the effortlessness of that kind of inner critic, or that demands on what should happen. There's expectations, which are, I mean, I still have some of those. So it's good to kind of normalize that. People will have these expectations or wanting things to be different.
One of my teachers always says we're moving in the direction of effortlessness. And that makes it a bit softer for people, because there's no expectation to be completely effortless. What does effortless even mean? Some people would say, well, what does it even mean? Do I just sit there and do nothing? Obviously, there's a technique. Obviously, there's a meditation technique. Otherwise, you would sit there, close your eyes and just close your eyes. But there is a technique required. It's about being allowing, as you mentioned. Can I be allowing? Can I let go of attachment to outcome? Can I let go of attachment of wanting to experience something? Because then when we're not meeting our expectations again, we start trying even more. And when people start trying and putting effort in, it creates friction. And in an effortless practice, friction's not what we want to be doing. Effortless is frictionless. So it's about being allowing. Can I let go of these attachments and desires of what I want to achieve or accomplish in my meditation, and just allow it to happen?
Absolutely. And I'm interested in the difference between Vedic and mindfulness when it comes to effortlessness. I have a feeling on some level it'll be the same. Some level it'll be the same thing. But is there something you would like to talk about in Vedic or your practice there? How it shows up or how you experience it? Or?
Yeah. People ask me quite often, how long will it take me to get good at meditation? How long until I can do this? And the answer is that you can do it on the first day that you start learning, as well as you can do it in 20 years' time. It's not something that we get better at technically.
Yeah.
Experienced meditators, they just become more effortless with their approach to the technique, approach to how they use the mantra. You know, we have this way of using the mantra in meditation that allows the mind to eventually kind of, you know, settle into states of quietness and stillness. And that level of transcendence is something that occurs when the conditions allow for it to happen, and those conditions that allow for it to happen are, can I just be completely effortless and not add any friction into the process, because friction is going to stop my mind from ultimately transcending. So it's the way that effortlessness works is in a sense of ease. Can I be easy and effortless in my approach to expectations, easy and effortless in my approach to, you know, what I want to experience, or how I navigate thoughts in meditation. We can navigate thoughts effortlessly. Nonchalantly is a nice word that I like to use. Be a bit blasé about experiencing thoughts. You know, it's not a case of I'm thinking so many thoughts in meditation, this is frustrating, and I'm, you know, there's effort required to navigate them. Just effortless, moving in that direction. So effortless in Vedic is more about an attitude of becoming easier with what's happening in the present moment. Softer.
Well, that is the same with mindfulness. So one technique in unified mindfulness might be to lean into the reactions. So rather than being in the content of the thoughts or the emotions that pop up when you're sitting still with your eyes closed, you look at the contour of them. So it might be how they feel rather than the story, or how where the thoughts are, the thoughts of sounds, are they here? So sensations, where are you experiencing it in the sensation? So do you hear it in the middle of the head? What was the voice like? So or is it an image that flashes up? So whatever pops up, you can lean in. That is one technique. You can lean in, and so again, you're leaning into the present. That thing is happening, but I'm not getting lost in it. I'm not going into the story. I'm going, what does that feel like? So I'm not pushing against it. There's no push or pull. And then there is a sort of technique with the concentration where you might return to a place following the breath on the lips or the nostrils, or wherever, or the diaphragm. And there's that kind of, you can have a bit of that single-mindedness where I'm going to keep putting it back on there. That can build up this kind of concentration. I've certainly done that in the past, where just by keep putting my attention on the space and building up the concentrations, the other stuff will fall away. But looking back now, that was had effort in it. So there's an interesting debate there. You can kind of see this where I think people have done really extraordinary difficult meditations, like they've gone straight into Vipassana, or they've sat and not moved for hours and hours and not done that before. And sometimes they'll get a breakthrough. But I do think the effortlessness needs to come at some point. You can't just be trying to get somewhere or trying to break through, you know.
You talk about a breakthrough in meditation. For me, in the way that I meditate, the way that I was taught and the way that I teach, breakthrough suggests that something happens within meditation that's kind of something that's akin to a next step. Or, you know, you unlock the next level or the next realization. For me, the levels are unlocked when you open your eyes and you go into your day and you don't react in an angry way when previously you might have done. That's when the breakthrough comes. The breakthrough comes when you feel as though, for this last week in the evenings, I've had a lot more energy because I've been meditating at the right times of day. That's the breakthrough. So for me, breakthroughs come in your day to day rather than in eyes closed. If breakthroughs just came in eyes closed meditation, I would just meditate 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
But we meditate, or I certainly do, to try and be the best I possibly can on the outside. It's not easy, but that's the aim.
Yeah.
And again, that's down to effort and objectives and outcomes and expectations, breakthroughs in, breakthroughs out. This idea that is it earned really interests me. Where's your stance on effortlessness and this idea of is it earned or not?
So there's a joy in the present moment that's not earned. It's there all the time, and we're in our own way. How we see and experience the present, thoughts, feelings, whatever, is at fault. There might be karmic stuff, or that might be an argument from last week, or that's how I see it. So in a way it's not earned, but you have to let go of parts of yourself maybe that are holding. So it's not earned, it's there. But to get through that, you perhaps have to lean in, and that feels uncomfortable. So don't like the word earned.
Okay.
But there is a kind of, there can be rewards from, leaning in. Yeah.
Leaning into experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. With a certain curiosity and a learning more that doesn't have that kind of automated habitual thought pattern attached to it. It's like, let's look at the contour of this experience rather than like the context, like the story. So is it similar?
Yeah, slightly different to how I meditate in terms of any thoughts that arise in meditation or emotions, feelings, mental sensations. I almost don't give them a second thought.
Yeah.
There's not even a tiny part of me that is even interested about what it is or what it feels like. It could be stressful, anxiety-inducing. It could be really creative.
Yeah.
Something that's really a nice thing to have. Equally, I'm as blunt as it sounds, I'm not interested in what those thoughts are.
No, I'm absolutely with you, because I will say, just to clarify, that there's different practices with mindfulness. So one is to sort of lean in and feel those feelings. Another is to sort of concentrate, keep coming back to a point of concentration and let go of the thoughts. Like you say, pay them no attention. But I think the concentration process, whether that's with a mantra or following the breath in one point, is important to do, to then be able to then lean in. It's there's something about that single pointed concentration that really builds up a skill that allows stuff to come to light. The mind can see more clearly. It's less habitual. Or it's very important.
We can argue about the word concentration another time. Yeah. However, I agree with you in that, when a meditation practice is so simple in terms of the mechanics of how it works, that returning, there's an art of returning from mental sensation again and again. However many times you need to do that, it's that art of returning is essentially the meditation. It's almost too simple to comprehend how that can have so many positive benefits, but the fact that it is so simple lends itself to you being effortless with it. And almost, I often liken it to kind of reeds that sway at the bottom of kind of ocean beds. You're just gently flowing in this current of thoughts and experience, and you just keep coming back to this same point very gently, and it's just this dance, this really gentle dance that you have in meditation, as effortless as possible. Like a slow motion, slow moving, carefree, blasé, nonchalant, act that you can slot into the middle of your busy day.
I really like the flow word, that imagery.
It helps people understand that you don't have to struggle against it. You don't have to fight against thoughts. You don't have to feel friction or frustration. And in fact, the more effortless you can be in your attitude as well as your technique, the easier you will find yourself mentally and physically settling. And what people want out of a meditation practice is this benefiting me? Am I feeling calmer? And all the many benefits that you have. But we won't have a level of mental calmness if we're fighting in meditation against this idea that it's meant to be easy, but I'm not feeling ease. Be easier, and head in that direction.
Yeah.
That's where the coaching comes in.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's something so powerful from coaching or talking to people in a certain way, where that can, when someone talks about their experience, you can identify they're trying, but they might not be able to. Or something about the experience that they haven't picked up or they've presumed. Yeah. There's something amazing that happens in coaching where you can just say, it sounds like you said this. It sounds like you're judging that. And they're like, oh, yeah.
That's the best way to do it, is you make people look at their own words that they're using. Describe your practice to me. Describe what you're feeling in meditation. And they say, when I try to do this, and they say, okay, so you're using the word try. Yeah. You're using the word focus. You're using the word, whatever your direction is from teaching, you just gently tell people this is how you're talking about your practice, so we can remove those types of words and maybe replace them with these words instead. How does that feel? Well, more gentle, softer, more delicate. Wonderful. That's how we're going to approach it from now on. And it's just helping people understand that I can be easier and easier, because it's counterintuitive. It is. It's so counterintuitive to tell people to do less to accomplish more. Yeah. The less you put in, the more you'll get out. We're not used to it. So it takes a little bit of a while for people to get used to that. But when people get used to that idea, then that idea and that attitude can start translating into life. I'm using meditation as a training ground for life. And this attitude that I'm cultivating inside meditation of being more allowing, being softer, gentler, more self-compassionate, effortless, ease, knowing that I'm receiving in return as a result, where can I start to implement those attitudes into life? And then that's when it gets interesting for people. Yeah, that is interesting, and we're both advocates for it being about life, not the practice. Sure. Just the practice. So, what are some ways? I know you just mentioned a few, but is there any ways that seem most important to you that you've experienced effortlessness, or other people have, how it's transferred from the meditation to life? Yeah, one of the biggest things that for me was how I spoke to myself internally. If I didn't do something or missed something, the way that our mind wanders away with itself inside a meditation, and then, as we just mentioned, there's a returning element where you can bring it back to something again and again and again. If you disappear, you come back. If you disappear, you come back. The same way that in life, if you want to go for a run, I'm going to do this new exercise regime and get fit, I'm going to go for a run, and for whatever reason you don't go. Instead of admonishing yourself and being hard on yourself, I'll return. There's an element here where there's an ease about returning, and that's okay. And we tend to become a little bit softer in the way that we talk to ourselves, because we're cultivating an attitude of ease and effortless rather than fighting and friction. So wherever we see ease and effortlessness in life, or an opportunity to add more ease and effortlessness in, we'll use it. The way that we talk about other people, we might not be so critical about other people, or moan as much, or get involved in gossip as much. And these conversations you'll start to hear people have conversations where they're gossiping about somebody, and you'll start to think, I don't want to get engaged in that. There's a friction that's being created here. There's it's a tacky. Well, it is tacky, and that is probably one of the biggest benefits that I notice, is when I feel a bit stressed and then I take a breath and I kind of disappear into that. And rather than engaging someone and then starting on being in something, or maybe start thinking about how I appear to someone on a Zoom or in a meeting, I start trying in that way, just let it go. I'm like, thank God. Like, I can imagine in the past I would have just gone into started more calmer or more patterns, and I've just let it go, and it feels so good to let go. The physical feeling can be like, I didn't latch onto that. I just let it go. That's probably the best benefit that I notice. Definitely. You can have situations where previously you would have felt stress. I missed the train to London a few months ago, and I was running down the platform when I could see the guard was blowing his whistle, and I had to get to London. And the guard said, "Sorry, you can't come on." And I was like, I said I could just jump on here, but he said, "No, you're gonna have to buy a new ticket." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine. I'll wait. I'll buy another ticket. It's not the end of the world." I was on a retreat, and this girl missed a connecting flight to Sydney from New York, and she was like, these things kind of happen. Maybe there's a lesson in there somewhere that I can take from it. People get parking tickets that I've spoken to recently that meditate, that they laugh. Karma. They understand that there's this karmic energy whereby things happen to you as a result of things that you have done. And parking tickets, missed trains, we can trace it back, and the problem will be with us. So we can't direct our anger anywhere, and it's about being more effortless and at ease with situations that arise in life, and often they're situations that are sent to try us. So can we have a level of measure and balance in the way that we respond to them? And that'll be the biggest way that it shows up. It's not a laziness, it's that we're creating. It's not an attitude of I don't care or I'm blasé about life. It's not that kind of attitude that we're curating in meditation. It's an attitude of, can I be softer and gentler and more balanced, more measured, calmer, respond rather than react, all these things that we that we want to display.
I feel it as I'm bigger than the problem kind of feeling. Well, whether it's me or the universe is kind of working out, something's working out, and there's a trust in that. That's the effortlessness. So I'm bigger than the problem. Like, I don't. When I was younger, the problem would be bigger than me, and I'd be just thinking about it. So following on how effortlessness can come into life, I wanted to talk about in Unified Mindfulness. They have this image or this phrase about being a magic robot. So if being a robot doesn't sound good, it almost sounds like robotic. But there's it's being in a way that's just kind of automatic, not getting engaged in stress, just trusting that you know what to do. So there's a small kind of self. So the self isn't inside going like, but it should be like this, or I need to do this, or this. For a lot of stuff, you can just be automatic, and you're just kind of going with the flow, which is when we're happiest, when we're just in nature or doing a job or doing work, and we're just not thinking about, is it okay? Is it okay? Am I doing it right? The self is kind of small. It's pleasant, and often we can be flowing with that. So you don't have to be in it all the time, but it's a nice goal to have that image of, a magic robot. It might not work for everyone. They might prefer something else that's going with the flow or whatever. But it's nice to see how effortlessness can lead on what a goal could be if you want to go that far with it. I really like that. I think it also helps people to reevaluate parts of their life where areas of their lives feel effortful. Because it really helps it stand out. We have these areas of our life, whether it's a job or a group that you're involved in, or something that you do where there is friction and frustration coming your way that makes your involvement in it feel effortful. Two things can happen. Either you think, can I be more effortless in my approach? Or do I need to get rid of it? Do I need to get rid of that and find something that is more effortless, or gives me the opportunity to be more effortless and get in that flow that you're talking about, and enjoy life rather than fighting against it? So where are the areas in my life where I can maybe, make a few changes, whether it's the way that we think internally, habits, hobbies, even, acquaintances and, friendship groups. I know lots of people who've kind of just gently drifted away from friendship groups because their life has started to go in a different direction since they started to meditate. And you meet more like-minded people, and you meet new people. You still retain your friendships, but they just evolve into something that's not maintaining the same thing that you've always done for years and years, because you're finding it more
grating.
It's the maintaining part.
Yes.
Because that doesn't say effort. That says effortful. Some things are good to maintain, but they should generally feel effortless or worth it. But yeah, when there can be lots of relationships and friendships and situations that require a lot of maintenance that can be in an effortful way, where it stresses you out all the time.
Maintaining is good if whatever you're maintaining maintains its relevancy and purpose. Once it starts to lose its relevancy and purpose, it starts to become maintaining for the sake of maintaining, because it's something that you've always done. Whereas that's a sign that maybe you can clear that away and make way for something new and exciting that you can get enthused about, that can start serving you and give you that purpose and relevancy that the other thing had lost.
Well, that's it. You don't waste your energy on those things that take maintenance that aren't useful to you. But the meditation helps you see where you're doing that, because we're all karma and patterns. We can just be habits. We can just be having that argument in my head with someone, and the maintaining word is interesting, because that's, from a mindfulness point of view, we maintain things. We maintain our problems and our karma and our patterns, and when we meditate and we can let go of them little by little, that does kind of filter out so we're not maintaining difficult relationships, problems in our life as much. I really like the maintaining word, because when I work with people in my hypnotherapy practice, I tell them that you're doing the rumination, it's you doing it. People think it's not, because it comes so easily, or you're doing the tension. You can let go of that. It's empowering to think, oh, maybe I am the problem. It can be empowering to think, I'll just stop doing that. Which is what happens when someone has a life of ease. They're not worried about someone from the past or something. They just have a life of ease. Well, that's what we do with thoughts that we're done with. So many thoughts a day, most of them we let go of.
Or at least if there are not, situations that require navigating that you find challenging, you've got confidence in your ability to navigate them with ease. This idea that meditation prevents people from getting stressed is a bit of a fallacy. People still get stressed. People still get themselves in pickles, and people still need situations that are frustrating to be in, but it's, can I navigate those better than I would have done before I started to meditate? Is there an upward curve in the way that I'm responding and navigating to these challenges and adding more ease? And if that trend keeps on going up as a result of sitting and closing your eyes on a regular basis and being as effortless as possible, it's a no-brainer.
Absolutely. And finally, what are ways, I'm just thinking of ways that we can sort of encourage an effortless practice. One way I've got is about the habit of meditation. If you're rushing to fit a meditation in, that can maybe bring some effort in, where people try and squeeze it into their day, maybe while they're running or something, or maybe they're multitasking. They've not really fit it into their day properly. That can bring a bit of effort, can't it?
Yeah. For me, when I talk about meditation, I mean sitting with your eyes closed. Many people say, walking is my meditation, or running is my meditation, or cooking is my meditation. They can be meditative in terms of a mindful activity, but there's a big difference between being mindful and meditating. Huge difference. So meditating is, for me, sitting down, closing your eyes and taking that time to turn your attention inwards. And that is what I'm talking about when I say effortless. You can be, as easy as possible when you're running, as easy as possible when you're, cooking dinner and doing things that you enjoy. But effortlessness requires stillness in posture.
And the planning for that, if you get to a bit of practice meditation, you can just drop in on a train, wherever. But for people that haven't built up that kind of trust in it, to plan the time so they're not rushing. Because if people haven't really thought about it and they think they keep missing it and thinking, I need to do that meditation, there's a pressure there, I didn't do it, and then they kind of cram it in, that feels effort. I feel like that's going to bring an effort into the.
They can bring pressure for sure. Yeah, and then it can bring a bit of anxiety. That can bring in the inner critic that says, why didn't you make time earlier? You knew that you wanted to do this. It's really good for you. Why have you done this again? So we can remove that inner critic by, if you miss your window, your slot where you said, I'll fit this in, have your attention on the next one.
Yeah. Okay.
I would just say that. Put your attention on the next time that you think you can have your window, and, try and fit in your window. And if you miss that, attention on the next one. This is where intentions, not rules, really helps.
Yeah.
That attitude, because you can't break intentions.
Well, intentions is a great one, to be clear of what your intention is. And if you're a beginner, to have an intention of, like, I'm going to try this for 2 weeks, I'm going to set the time, will take away some of the effort. If you're still scrabbling in your head that, like, am I fitting this in? Do I have time? Is it working? It's going to be a bit more effortful. So yeah, posture and relaxation. That was another point for what can encourage effortlessness. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Be as comfortable as possible. As simple as that. Ideally sat upright. When we meditate laying down, the brain starts to think that it might be time to go to sleep. And if your aim is to go to sleep and you're doing this late at night, go for it. Lay down. But if it's during the day, sit upright, but be as comfortable as possible. Don't sit trying to cross your legs, or don't hold your hands in a way that you think meditators. When I first meditated, I had my hands, I didn't even know what I was doing. I had no idea what this means, what it does. I just seen the pictures of people meditating, and I was sat like this with my back against the sofa trying to cross my legs. I was so uncomfortable. And you can't have any level of satisfaction if you're uncomfortable in that way. It's really difficult. So just sit as though you're going to watch a movie for an hour. Sit in bed with your back against the wall, your feet straight out, no problem. Just be comfortable. Be comfortable enough that you can sit for 20 minutes, half an hour. Even if you're going to meditate for 5, think, can I sit here comfortably? And then physical comfort will lead to inner comfort. Otherwise you're fighting external forces as well as potentially internal, and there'll be a lot of friction.
There's plenty of time to learn full lotus and all the leg crossing stuff. And relaxation, or a bit of breath work at the start. Important as well.
Really important. If you can, take the time to learn some simple breathwork techniques before you meditate, because it physically calms your nervous system very quickly. The easiest thing to do if you're brand new is just to inhale through the nose and then exhale out of your mouth for longer than you inhaled. Inhale, breathing into the belly and the diaphragm, exhaling for longer than you inhaled. Do that for 30 seconds. 10 breaths. If we exhale for longer than we inhale, it sends a signal to the brain that we're safe, and it calms your nervous system, which takes you away from the fight or flight response, meaning that you enter meditation from a calmer physical state. Really, really simple. If you enjoy breath work and you've done a bit of breath work before and you want to do some box breathing, alternate nostril breathing, or some more advanced breathwork techniques, go for it. But breathwork before meditation, I highly recommend people to do it.
Me too. Even if it's just a little bit, there's something about that transition into it, that you're not just jumping in and going, oh, I've got to get it out of the way. There's a kind of, I'm trusting the process of transition. Could be a few sighs. Remind the body how to let go of thoughts and feelings, and in Shinzen Young would always say, stretch up and settle down. So I really like this. That's the posture really, but there is a relaxation element. So stretch up, but settle down. So there's a kind of alertness to the stretching up, but there's also relaxation. So you bring in a kind of alertness. It's not sleep. You're here to do something, but it's in a relaxed way.
Breathwork is gently activating. It can be calming, but it works on the level of activation, activating your parasympathetic nervous system. There is activation involved in breathwork because it's physical. Activating can be calming. We're not talking about exciting, we're just gently activating the parts of the body that's going to allow you to relax. So yeah, any form of breath work, 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, however long you want to do, makes a big difference. It really makes a big difference to the quality of your meditation.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. Just one more tip, or something that I would invite people to look at, is letting go. What does letting go mean to you? So like, when you're meditating and a thought comes up, what does letting go mean? What does it feel like? Because people might think that's pushing away, or we might not know. That's something I had to learn, how to let go of things. You don't have to organize the thoughts, file them away somewhere. You just stop doing them. You come back to the point of concentration, and so a beginner might not know how to let go. I mean, I don't know how to let go in the full sense of the word yet, and I want to. I'm still learning how to let go more and more. But there is an effortlessness that comes with letting go.
Yeah, letting go of attachment to expectations of what you want to achieve in your practice. We can remove those. Letting go of expectations of outcome. How do I want to feel at the end of this meditation? You can forget that.
Yeah,
it will happen. Just allow it to happen. Be allowing. Let go of the content of the thoughts that I will experience. What do the thoughts mean that pop up in meditation?
Yeah,
I don't care. We can let go of that attachment. Let go of attachment to thoughts, experience, outcome. Those are the three big things. And what you'll find is that you become more allowing. And we use these wonderful words like surrendering. I'm going to surrender to this process. Meditating is one of the most natural processes that the body can go through, when ultimately, in the technique that I do, where the self experiences the self. And what we're letting go of is everything that we hold dear to us. When I meditate, I let go of everything that's precious to me. My physical body disappears into transcendence, because I go beyond the experience that I have of my physical body. With that goes my thoughts, my fears, and my hopes, and my dreams, and my friends and family, and everything disappears into that state of transcendence for me. And that's what I let go of. Everything. What a wonderful attitude to curate inside meditation, about having lack of desire, lack of attachment to things that are impermanent. And that's the conversation for another time. But it's allowing that process to happen, and recognizing that I let go of everything that I need to let go of. And if that's everything, then let it go. Freeing. That's the word it is. It's absolutely freeing to know that it happens when I close my eyes. Beautiful.
Yeah. I'm just going to ask you a question. There's definitely been phases where, when I've been in thought, I've just taken a breath. Kind of let it go physically, and let go of some tension in the body and the thoughts. And that's really worked. There is an element of, is that trying to change something? Or is that letting go? So I've not gone into kind of a breath work where I'm starting to try and shift something. It's just quite kind of naturally just gone. And I found that incredible. So when I've been in thoughts, there's actually like a bit of energy in the body or an emotion. I'm kind of let go of that rather than just the thought. So not attacking it on a thought level, I'm kind of just letting go in the body. So how does that sound to you?
Great.
Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful. Often we find that these actions are almost involuntary. I get it when my body drops and my breathing slows right down to the point where I'm probably barely breathing, but then there's a point where my body needs oxygen. And every now and again in meditation, I'll just involuntarily take a huge inhale. And it's not me that's doing it, but my body needs the oxygen because it's gone without for so long. If your body needs something and needs to let go of something physically, let go, It's the same with stretching. If you want to stretch in the middle of your meditation, stretch. We don't have to sit rigidly, in order for meditation to work. If you want to stretch and, there's something niggling you, release that physical tension, let go of it. yeah, it's your meditation.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% for stretching and moving and sighing during meditation if you need it, as long as you come back to the practice. And so I think that kind of wraps that up. But that sort of stretching topic will probably fit on our next video. So I'll put a link in for that. Great.